Well, hello there. I am super excited to be with you this fine day. Definitely wanted to take an opportunity to talk with you about a topic that I get a whole lot of questions about. In our industry of network marketing, very often we are concerned about building momentum. Now, what does that mean? Momentum is one of the most important sought after things that we are looking to build in our network marketing businesses. Momentum is simply what happens when you get into a rhythm and you really start to build on some habits and things that you're doing naturally. So the momentum part is doing a set of actions for a period of time consistently enough to create what I like to call the snowball effect. So you're doing these actions, creating these habits over and over and over again that create what I like to call the snowball effect. What the snowball effect is think about when it snows and the snow just hits the ground. It's just spread out all over the place, right? Well, you can actually take that snow, begin to gather it up, and you're packing it together. Now, while you're gathering the snow and you're putting it all together, that tends to be the most difficult part, right? Because the snow is everywhere. You're out, you're gathering, you're packing, until you get this tightly packed snowball. Then you could take this snowball and you start rolling it in the snow, right? And it starts to grab snow that's around it, and you just keep rolling it and you keep rolling it. You're still working, you're rolling it, you're gathering snow, and then it becomes this big snowball that now is gathering snow on its own as it moves around. And then finally it gets to be so big, you could roll it towards a hill, it would go downhill. You're not doing anything. Things are just happening. The snowball is getting bigger, more snow is getting added to it. And before you know it, it's just going so fast and you're experiencing momentum. Well, it's the same way in our network marketing businesses. We are, except it's not necessarily snow, but we start doing the work, right? We start moving people from being suspects to prospects, and then prospects to actual distributors in our company. And as we keep working with them and they're gathering people and we're continuing to gather people and that snowball is getting packed tighter and tighter, before you know it, the thing takes on a life of its own and you're experiencing momentum in your organization. And momentum is super powerful. Momentum can make a bad leader look good, right? It's just so powerful. So you want momentum. That's what we're seeking for. Now, the way that you create that is you have to start doing these income producing activities on a daily basis, a consistent and daily basis. That means you need to know what your daily plan of action is. So if your goal is, to recruit 100 people by the end of the month, then you would take 30 days, divide it into 100, which is just over 3 people a day that you need to recruit. So when you start setting your goals, you set the goal and then you break it down into daily pieces so that if you decide that you're only going to work 5 days a week in a month, so you only have 20 days, then you divide that 20 to 100, you need to recruit 5 people a day, 5 days a week. Yes, that's the right number. It's the right math. So, but what it does is it gives you an understanding of exactly what you need to do to get into momentum, to achieve your goal. And as you're doing these things on a regular and consistent basis, guess what's going to happen? Other people will join you and start doing the same thing. And before you know it, you have so many people that are working with you that you can't even tell where you begin and your organization begins, because it's just a big modge of activity. And that's what we want. So how do we create this? We do it by doing these actions consistently for at least 30 days. 30 days is the minimum that you want to. If you can do it longer and push longer to create momentum, then yes, you should. But the problem is we stop quickly. We might do it for 3 days and then turn around and look and see, well, did it work? I don't have momentum. I only did it for 3 days. I've done it for 3 whole days and there's no momentum. Well, momentum doesn't happen that way. It's going to be over time. It's over an extended time period. You've got to remember that that time is a factor. There's power in the time. So you're going to do those actions. You're going to continue to stick to the routine. What I like to do is every night have a list of the top 6 things that I have to do the next day. And when I get up in the morning, those are the things that I start with. I do those 6 things. And then I also have a secondary to-do list that I pull things from after I accomplish the most important 6 things of every day. And if you're building momentum, if your goal is to build momentum in your organization, then that's something that you want to make sure that you're doing. You've got to stay organized. You have to stay focused in the process. The other thing it's going to take is persistence. You know, Og Mandino has a book called The Greatest Salesman in the World. And in it, he says, he has a mantra that says, I will persist until I succeed. That means you're not going to stop. Quitting is not an option. You know, momentum respects persistence. So you have to continue to push. Even when things get tough, you have to continue to push and press for momentum. You have to persist in the face of your adversities, not because, you know, you can't walk away from it. You can't hide from it, but you have to persist in the face of it. I remember when I was building momentum in an organization, even telling my kids, like, if it's not bloody, if it's not broken, I'll deal with it at the end of these 90 days. And they understood because we did it consistently. You know, there were 90-day blitzes that I worked under at least once a year. So they understood that. And also, I mean, it just helped me to stay focused, to stay firmly on course until I was successful. So we want to realize that in this process, it's not going to be a day-to-day check to see this great momentum come out. You're not going to do the activity today and then tonight everything's going to blow up. Literally, what you have going on in your organization this month is a result of your activity from last month. And that means you have to operate almost in a kind of a blind faith area. But isn't that what faith is? Isn't that kind of how faith works, where you have to do something and believe that the outcome is going to be what you are after, what your goal is, right? And that's the same thing when you're building momentum. You do all of the work. You're consistently doing the things, creating the habits that cause momentum to come, but you can't check every day. It's like losing weight. You know, they say don't get on the scale every day because it'll discourage you. Don't check to see if you have momentum every day because it'll discourage you. You have to be focused and disciplined, right? The D word that everybody hates. Disciplined enough to continue even if you're not seeing the immediate results. And here's a little marketing secret. Anytime that you start a marketing plan or do something different, it's going to take you about 90 days to see a result. That's why I never tell people, oh, what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing that in your business, because you don't want to stop what you're doing at all. You can add things to what you're doing, but don't stop what you're doing unless you're not getting any results and it's been more than 90 days, because then it causes a break in your production. So we want to definitely understand that you're going to do it this month and you probably won't reap the harvest from it for next month or maybe even into the following month, but you have to be committed. You have to be persistent. You have to be consistent, and your attitude has got to be, I will until, right? The number one killer of momentum is scrutinizing your results on a day-to-day basis. Just looking to see what's happening. And here's the thing, it gets boring doing the same thing over and over again. But one of the things about network marketing is you have to master the mundane. You have to get accustomed to doing the same thing over and over again, realizing that the compound effect is what's going to happen to get you these magnanimous results. Any successful network marketers, well, most of them, I'll say, have some type of a system that they're working under. And if you have a system in your organization and you're working the system and everybody in your organization is working that same system, you're going to have to get results. Remember, you have systems, and systems are created to save yourself some time, energy, and money. SYSTEM. Save yourself some time, energy, and money by absolutely operating within these systems. And in this process of creating momentum, don't compare yourself to anybody else, right? Make your goals, decide what you're willing to do, and then go for it. Head down, focused. The only other people that you need to be focused on are the people in your organization or the people that you're adding to your organization that you're running alongside of, that you're helping them to create momentum and ultimately create more momentum in your own organization as well. And then once you have momentum, don't make the mistake that I made. You know, you get momentum and you achieve your goal, don't let up. keep pushing, because momentum, it'll slow down on its own. So you want to push it and go as far as you can with it. I remember when I was running for a 6-figure income, and I was like, the goal was $100,000. And just running, busting it to get to that $100,000. And actually, I didn't stop at 100,000. When I hit the goal, it was like 114,000. But instead of continuing to push, I said, whew, I literally went on vacation, left the country and everything. Everything in the organization just went like this. Whereas if I had continued to push that momentum, I probably could have ridden it to the $250,000 income level, really. So we want to get momentum, and then you want to continue to push momentum. You want to help those in your organization to create momentum. And that is going to be one of the things that solidifies you in your network marketing business. So hopefully this helps you kind of understand what momentum is. And I'll end with this. Locked up in the word momentum is 2 smaller words. One of them is moment and the other is It's the decisions that you make on a moment by moment basis that are either going to add to or subtract from your momentum. And those who have not pressed are going to be standing around looking like, what just happened? What just happened? It's those moment by moment decisions. So hopefully this is helpful. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you over the top.